Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maria Desmondi, and I am here on launch day. I am with the amazing author, Nikki Bergstresser, on her big day, the release of Lila Lou's Little Library. I also wanted to introduce you to Heather. Heather Dew is going to be translating in American Sign Language for us today as Nikki releases and reads her new book. Nikki, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and we are going to have a lot of fun after the reading, but let's begin with the book. So welcome, Lila Lou.
Thank you so much, Maria, and I'm so excited to share Lila Lou with you today. Now, the illustrator is named Sujung Kim, and I love how she developed Lila Lou. For my family who gave me wings to dream, and for my friends who also share a love of books. Lila Lou loved to read. Morning, noon, and night, her nose was buried in a book. Books piled here, books piled there, in every nook and cranny, books were piled everywhere. Lila Lou would even get lost in her books. Lila Lou, called out her mom. Over here, came a voice from among all the books. Giving a sigh, her mom looked under, climbed over, and squeezed past the stack of books. Where are you? Over here. Where? Here. She finally found Lila Lou reading in a fort made from books. Lila Lou's mom crossed her arms and shook her head. Lila Lou knew the words that would come out of her mom's mouth next. Lila Lou, there are too many books in this house. Maybe our house is just too small for all these books? Lila Lou winked and grinned. Rumble, 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 rumble. From deep inside the closet door, the noise grew and grew. Lila Lou's mom slowly opened the door and peeked inside. She opened it a little further. A pile of books came tumbling out. I guess I could share my books with others, Lila Lou quickly suggested. That day, Lila Lou had an idea that grew and grew. She gathered her glitter and her glue. She grabbed a hammer, nails, and paint. Lastly, she grabbed her mom and headed outside. In Lila Lou's front yard stood the largest tree stump ever. Lila Lou had been sad when the old oak tree fell during a storm last winter. But now a smile spread across her face, and she threw her arms around the stump and gave it a hug. This is the perfect place. Her mom looked confused. For what, Lila Lou? You will see. Let's get to work. Bang, bam, buzz, clatter, clang, clank, sploosh, splash, shloop. I love those fun words. Lila Lou and her mom worked till dusk. The sun was setting when they hung the sign on the tree stump. Lila Lou and her mom stood back and admired their work. I think this will do, Lila Lou smiled. I think this will too, and her mom wiped her brow. the sign above the tree stump read, Lila Lou's Little Library. From all around the house, Lila Lou gathered books. Books about frogs, striped purple monsters, beautiful butterflies, lands far away, princesses, fierce dragons, and other creatures. She stacked her books neatly on bookshelves on her tree stump, Lila Lou's Little Library. Lila Lou was up with the sunshine and birds the next morning to see who would visit her library. She sat by the tree stump and waited. And she waited. Nobody came. People walked by, but no one noticed her library. This will not do. Lila Lou crossed her arms and thought. She raced into her garage and she brought out an old bell from a bicycle. It sounded just like the ice cream truck that drove around their neighborhood. Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling. Soon, a curious crowd gathered. Lila Lou scrambled up to the tippy top of the pile of the stump. My books are magical. Wait and see. Pick one, pick two, or even pick three. They will take you to places, adventures galore. When you spend time with books, you will want to read more. Can I have a book? Asked a boy with his dog. Do you have one for my baby? Asked a woman pushing a stroller. We want books too, called some others. Soon, the entire neighborhood was borrowing books, leaving books, and lending books at Lila Lou's Little Library. Not only did they always have a new book to read, but so did Lila Lou. The end.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for author Nikki Bergstresser and our interpreter, who is Heather Dew. We really appreciate you, Heather, as well today.
Thanks, Heather.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Maria Desmondi, and to bring some other individuals in. We have so many people joining us today. This is so exciting. I am the publisher of Cardinal Rule Press, and we were thrilled to be able to produce Lila Lou's Little Library. We were excited about the story in the fact that it talks about community, and then it talks about a little girl who has the power within her to make a difference in the world. And so even being a little girl, she was able to do something that had a great impact. So I'm going to welcome Nikki to go ahead and talk to us about her inspiration for Lila Lou's Little Library.
Sure. Thanks, Maria. Well, ever since I was little, I loved to read. Both my mom and dad were teachers, and so they always brought books home, and we would go to the library, and I loved our time spent reading. And that was kind of how Lila Lou was born. This was a picture of me when I was in kindergarten. And as you can see, I have glasses. And so that's kind of been something that I really have loved in my storybooks is I've asked the publisher kindly if my characters could have glasses, because way back then when I went to school, glasses weren't as fashionable as they are now. And so that was really important for me that my characters had glasses. So in both Lila Lou's Little Library and my Seasons for Stones, they have my characters are wearing glasses.
So tell us a little bit more about, so you told us the inspiration, but I want to hear a little bit more about the Little Library, because this is something that, there's an old saying that says you practice what you preach. And I have really gotten to know you over the last year and a half. And that's something that I truly believe. You say you're going to do something and you follow through. So tell us a little more about Little Libraries.
Thank you. It's always been my dream to share books with people around me. Even when there weren't little libraries, I would still be passing books off to friends. And so this summer, my husband worked with myself and my daughters, and he built a little library in our front yard. It was a labor of love. And in fact, it was larger than he anticipated because I just want it stacked with books. So right now we have our grand opening happening tomorrow, where I'll be putting the books in. There's 3 shelves. It's a huge library. I went even last week and I got bales from a farmer to set up and decorated it for fall. And so I'm going to put some special fall books in there too. But I really want our community to be able to come together over a love of books. And it's been fun because this week there have been kids coming around, keep checking on when the books will be in the library. And so yesterday I got out of my car and one little boy was waiting for me, almost scared me. And he's like, there's no books there yet. And so I assured him they would be on Saturday.
And they're all standing going, open, open, open. They have the books. I love it. I love it. So Nikki lives in Canada. This is something that we would love to, announce. So this is an international book launch. And so anyone who is in the BC, well, not quite BC, it's a big, big area. But anyone who wants to know where the Little Free Library is, follow Nikki on Instagram and you can get more information if you are in her area. So Nikki, there's something spectacular behind you, and I know that there is a big giveaway happening. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about that?
Okay, my family and I absolutely love Lego. Lego is another way to tell stories. And so we build things together. Well, I had a dream of doing a book cover for Lila Lou. And so I don't know if any of you watch Lego Masters on TV, but my one friend, he is down in New Zealand now, and he is the host of the Lego Masters in New Zealand. And he helped me, Robin Sather, and he plotted it out for me to work on. And my family and I worked almost 30 hours building this Lego mosaic. So I want you to think in your mind, how many little 1x1 squares do you think covers this mosaic? The mosaic it's a little over 3 feet tall. So it was a lot of work, but it was a labor of love. And the amount of little 1x1 bricks is 16,436.
Okay, say that again. I'm going to type it in. 16,436.
Yeah, you got it. And so yeah, all those little pieces. And it actually traveled with me when I went to Manitoba on a road trip to visit family. I had all the little squares, and we'd work on little squares at a time. And then we put it on and assembled it when we came back to BC on the board. So it was definitely a fun project. And there's a contest. A contest so that if you love telling story with Lego too, you can build your favorite scene from a book out of Lego. Be as creative as you want and take a picture of it. You can either post it on Instagram and tag me at Nikki Bergstresser, or you can email it to me, and you can find that information on my website too.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Nikki. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know we have classrooms, we have aspiring writers, we have family members tuning in. So, I'm going to ask Nikki another question. And actually, my niece is in the background. She was reading along with you. And I want to know what your questions are for Nikki. So, I'm going to ask her a question about the story right now, but go ahead and type in the chat. The chat is open to everyone. Please go ahead and type in any questions you have so that we can get them those answers right from the author. So Nikki, tell me, if you were to pick up the book, what would be one of your favorite pages and why?
I think my favorite page is the one that actually goes long ways in the book that you have to turn it. I'm just going to show it to you right now. I just love seeing Lila Lou just tucked in there behind all of the books. And it just shows what a treasure her books are for her.
And I've always loved, we have 3 children ourselves. And when I'm reading books, I love when the page turns like that. So I said to Sejong Kim, please make sure we can turn the page on one of them, because it's a fun surprise as a reader to see a book like that. Someone asked the question, tell us a little bit about the illustrator. And I will tell you, as the publisher, Sejong Kim came to us from, we work with an agency out of New York City called Advocate Art, Astound. We work with a couple different companies. We also work with the Bright Agency. And so what we do is we speak with our representative at one of the agencies and we say, this is the story. And we talk a little bit about an idea of what we want for the illustration. So we knew in this book, we wanted these vivid colors that kind of represented like a Latinx community. If you look in the pictures, you can see the tiles in the kitchen and just these bright, beautiful colors. And so what the agency does is they pull some portfolios for us, and we usually review about 6 different artist portfolios. And then we make our decision depending on budget and timeline. So we knew that this book was going to come out in the fall. And typically the books are done about 6 to 9 months in advance. And so those are some of the pieces that help us to find our illustrator. Here are some other questions. Fred wants to know if it is fun being an author.
It is so much fun being an author. It was a little hard when I had my first books come out during COVID because I couldn't get into the classrooms to visit everyone, but I've tried to be as creative as I can to get to see people, because that's my favorite part, is just sharing books with everyone. So yes, it's very fun being an author.
Well, and thank you, Fred. Another question from Karen is wondering, what is Lila Lou's favorite type of book to read? I thought that was a great question.
Good question, Karen. Thank you. Lila Lou loves adventure books. And you know what? She also loves any book where she can learn something new, something that she didn't know before. Those are her favorite books.
Excellent. The questions are just rolling in. I really appreciate this, everyone. Will Lila Lou's book be in your little library on launch day? So opening day, we should say, on Saturday when you open your library.
Okay, so I have only one book left until my books come, and I am going to put it in my library. and I'm going to, my books come soon.
And that's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. She is she's practicing what she preaches. Lila Lou is a little girl who's so generous, and so is Nikki. Nikki, that is so kind of you. Nathan would like to know, how do you get ideas for your book? And attached to that, we have a question from Megan wondering how long it takes you to write the stories.
Thank you, Nathan and Megan. Okay, for my ideas, my ideas sometimes just flow like crazy. And sometimes I need to quiet my mind even. So I love to go for walks in nature. And when I'm walking in nature, my mind is just quiet and I can think about my ideas and plan my stories. And another thing is I love to observe and watch people. How many of you love to do people watch too? I always am watching people and kind of listening to what they're saying or doing. And I get some really neat ideas from watching the world around me. So just make sure your eyes are open. And what was Megan's question again? Sorry.
That's okay. How long did this story take you to write?
This story started several years ago because it wasn't called Lila Lou's Little Library when I started. The joy about writing a story is you can go back and change things and add different things. And sometimes it's just important to get your ideas down first when you write a story. And then I go back and I'll see what works or what doesn't work. The original story when I started was called Abby May Gives Books Away. And it was actually about a little girl who had a wagon and she went around giving books away. And so it started to change and I'd share it with other friends and they'd give me ideas too.
Oh, I love that answer. And, you know, I should announce to everyone that we have worked with the Little Free Library organization and the second printing of Lila Lou's Little Library, which is on its way from the printer. There will be some information about Little Free Libraries in there. And so they have, you know, seen the book, they love the book, and we really, really appreciate what their organization is doing. They have hundreds of Little Free Libraries now in the country. And outside of the country. And so if you want to find out more, you can visit their website at littlefreelibraries.org. All right, we have a question from Ellie, and she is wondering, who is your favorite children's book author?
Thank you, Ellie. Good question. You know, it's kind of like my favorite food. I can't pick a favorite, but if you go on to my Instagram page, I have a list of books that we just put on there that are some of my favorite stories. And so you could look for those and get those out of your library or listen to them. Sometimes the author reads them on YouTube. But Robin Newman's book, Don't Call Me Fuzzy Butt, it is so funny. I laughed out loud when I read that one. So sometimes I like quieter books to read and sometimes I like laugh out loud books.
Okay, so I'm going to show you what she is referencing to. We have this family reading challenge that we just really wanted to encourage families to read, especially during the month of October in honor of Lila Lou. And so here are some of the books: Water Princess and Listen. Lisa Wheeler is a Michigan author. Someone Builds the Dream. These are some of the books that we've included on the list. Luna and Me. This is one of my favorite stories. It's a true story of a girl who lived in a tree to save a forest. And one of my author friends wrote this story. Her name is Jenny Sue Kostecki Shaw. And so some of these are Nikki's ideas and some of them are some of my favorites. Over the Shop, Say Something by Peter Reynolds. So we really stuck with the theme of nature, outdoors, community, as well as advocacy, children who can really speak up and make a difference like Lila Lou did. Tea Time Around the World, Kamala and Maya's Big Idea. I think I have all of them here. Watercress. And you can see, ladies and gentlemen, most of these I got from our local library. So please support your local library. Here's the silly one, Nikki. Don't Call Me Fuzzy Butt. And this one I thought looked silly too. Something's wrong. All right, let's see if we have any other questions. A lot of people are talking about Little Free Libraries and how they have them, and they're going to be sending us pictures of their Little Free Libraries. You know, we will be doing a charity event this month, Cardinal Rule Press. We are going to donate one book for every person who shares a picture of a Little Free Library with our hashtag. So we'll explain that on our Instagram page, but we're going to do a donor match of free books to Little Free Libraries this month.
And Maria, I'm just going to say something else too. I just wanted to say some of the best moments of being an author too is connecting with other authors, and the Cardinal Rule Press authors are amazing. So please check out their books too. And they've been so encouraging to me, as well as a group I'm in called Picture Book Pals. They've got some fantastic books too. So check out those places and you will find more amazing authors. Authors are the best people to hang out with.
Oh, I love it. And I can see your picture book pals. There's a lot of them here, and same with the Cardinal Rule Press authors. All right. Well, if you have anything else you'd like to share, Nikki, we'll go ahead and wrap up the book launch. So I'll put it back over to you.
Sure. I just, you know what, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Just for me to be able to share a joy of reading with all of you. Love it. And I want to give a huge shout out to Cardinal Rule Press, specifically Maria and Mandy. You guys have been amazing and supportive in this journey. It is such a dream. It can take up to 2 years to get a picture book published. And these ladies are amazing. If you have a TikTok account, check Cardinal Rule Press has TikTok now. Not every publisher, people, would be literally willing to dance for your book. Now, Maria Dismondy, she danced for my book. So you can check out my story on Instagram. Yeah, she rocks.
You're making me laugh. I don't know if I could have done it without the push from our millennial interns that said we really needed to get on TikTok. I thank our interns, but thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And if there's one thing that you can do after tuning into this, it's really, we want you to take the message of Lila Lou and live it in your life. Give with generosity, give without expectations, right? So we give to others without expecting anything in return, and you'll feel that love and that light in the generosity you give. So we're all going to unmute ourselves now. I love doing this at the end of our event. And again, Heather, I did not expect you to stay the whole time. I appreciate you. We are going to give a big round of applause to Heather and Nikki on the count of 3. Unmute yourselves. Ready and go.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Round of applause.
Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we had almost 100 people sign up for this event, but some people could only watch the replay. So I'm going to stop recording and we will go ahead and share the replay with you in an email for those of you who missed it. Thank you, Nikki, for bringing this book to the world.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.